People can tell how much you love yourself by the partner you choose to have. People can tell how much you love yourself based on the partner you choose to have. Let that sink in. People can give you a facade of who they are, but only for so long. So when the truth starts to come out little by little, how much do you accept because you think that's what you're worth in a relationship? How much do you accept it? Is it okay to be yelled at? Well, that's what you think you're worth. Do you yell at people? If the answer is no, if the answer is 9 times out of 10, I keep a very calm, cool, and collected tone, a respectful tone with my partner or anyone, that's the bare minimum you should expect for yourself. Oh, your standards are just so high. No, my standards are exactly what I bring to the table, which means my standards are not too high. They're the minimum. To be treated with kindness, respect, love, and adoration. What? Be able to be upset without blaming the other person for your own personal feelings. To be able to communicate without it becoming a one-sided conversation. To be able to walk without having to fear to walk on eggshells. That's the bare minimum. Your standards aren't too high. You're just in the wrong place, surrounded by people who have lower standards. Because people who say your standards are too high, it's because they've never found themselves worthy enough to be with someone who meets those standards, and so they don't believe it exists. But if you are here and you exist and it is who you are, then it is guaranteed that there is someone out there who meets those standards and matches you. And not only matches you, if you're the feminine, they exceed. You're not training a boyfriend how to be a boyfriend. And having a boyfriend is embarrassing in 2026, don't you know? You don't date because they have the potential to be better. You date because they already are matching who you are. They already understand how you see things. They already want to respect you even when they're mad at you. They know how to communicate their feelings directly. There's no dancing around. There's no subliminal messages in how they worded something. And there's no expectations without conversations. How much do you love yourself? How much do you value yourself? How worthy do you find yourself of being in a relationship that meets those standards? Because I can guarantee you, you're just probably in an area of life where those people are not available. You live in a town that you don't really want to live in, and you haven't ever connected with anybody from the town, but you tend to connect with people who are just passerbyers. Why? Because they bring a different energy than the people in your current town. And sometimes when you can't leave the town, so say for example, like me, I'm a single mom. I have lived in this town for a long time, not because it's my preferred town, but it's because it's the area that I could do single mom, like afford it the easiest, right? So I've kind of been stuck here, but in a way, I've also been protected and provided for here during a season of quiet growth, of the ability to raise my son without the spotlight on me, the ability to be a good mom and a good worker and learn the balance. I'm very blessed to be able to have been stuck where I am for so long. But it's not stuck. It's actually your position. You're positioned in a season of an ability to grow, to get stronger, to get wiser, to get better, to get your money in order, because it's really affordable to live here. That's why I live here. Even though my partner might not be here, that doesn't matter, because I'm becoming the better version of myself who's going to be ready to meet the better version of who I look for in a relationship, right? Like, the more I better myself, the more I'm going to step into the relationship I have been calling in by the energy I am emitting. Like, I'm not looking for someone who is a completely different version of who I am today. No, I'm looking for someone who is the version of who I am today, because that person is out there. And I do not settle for anyone who doesn't bring that to the table, because I know that I am worth more, and so are you. And we also have to go through the lessons of realizing that we are worth more. Did I always have this thought process? No. Did I always understand? No. That's how I learned. It's never a waste of time. Oh, you wasted all these years of my life. No. You taught me a lesson of a spot that I was blind to, and you taught me a lesson about a cycle that could have been another repeated cycle of a relationship that I have seen my sisters go through. And I was falling into the same pattern, but I woke up and I saw it, and it's all thanks to you, and I'm thankful. Thankful. No hate, no animosity, nothing. I'm thankful for the lessons I learned. I'm thankful to see where I needed to grow to be able to find the partner I am supposed to be with, right? Because I have constantly dated people in the past who would show me the world, and then they would change the world once they had me, right? But by then I was so invested, and I was just like, there's so much potential. I see the good in them when no one's looking. No, people should see the good in who other people are when everyone's looking and when no one's looking. Watch how they treat people when something goes wrong. Watch how they treat someone in the service industry when they mess up on an order. Watch. Anyways, I need to drink my coffee, and that was just an inspired conversation of the day in my head. You're worth more, and if you haven't learned it yet, it's okay. You shouldn't blame yourself, but never take any relationship that doesn't work out and be like, it was a waste of my time. It's only a waste of your time if you didn't realize the lesson that they were bringing to you, because you only continue to date the same kind of people. I always find people, they always do this to me. That's because you haven't grown out of that. It is you choosing those people, finding those same traits, and seeing that there's potential, right? Once you wake up from the repeated cycle of the choice in partners that you have, that's when it changes. That's when all of a sudden you start attracting in the vibration of a partner that actually meets who you are right now and exceeds it and inspires you. Like, there's really people out there like this. I have such high standards. They're even higher now that I've met someone who met the bare minimum and exceeded it. That exists. It does. You only repeat the same kind of relationships until you have learned your lesson. So if you find yourself repeating the same kind of relationships, then ask yourself, what is the lesson I haven't learned? What am I doing? Start looking it up. Start listening to motivational talks. Start listening to things that can help wake up your brain, that can help you see a cycle that you're repeating here. You can't just blame the partner for how they acted, because if you do that, you're going to find another partner who acted that same way. You have to look at what you tolerated and when it started, and why did you tolerate that? What was the why? And then once you realize what the why was, you can identify that why, and in your pattern of who you choose or the people that come to talk to you, you can identify it like that and stop the repeated cycle, right? It's not always the people, I always date the wrong people. No. You're accepting the wrong people by following the same pattern. You have to recognize that pattern, and you also have to identify if you are worth more than how you're being treated. Okay? All right, love you, bye.